Hello everyone, I hope you had a wonderful May and diving into the further excellent June this year, which starts today if you're watching this video today. Let's take a stroll a little bit. So this is our Dharma Center, Richard Kosaka Buddhist Center of Los Angeles. The street over here. We have a beautiful garden, a beautiful sanctuary, beautiful Sangha group. That means you. That's great. And Enrico, next to us, has a beautiful garden too. So these cars are for teachers and across the street elementary school. So how are you all doing? In this video, I would like to introduce to you some highlights of this month and the last month. So let's check it out. Let's start our June with recognizing our assumption as a Buddhist practice. I'm a magician. There's two empty cups and there's an orange. So question, if I do this, which cup has an orange? In this one? Yes, right. Right. How about this? Abracadabra. Yes, it's in. It's in. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. No orange. How did I do that? You wonder, how did I do that, right? Now you know it. I, had 2 oranges from the beginning. But when you were seeing this in the beginning, you probably thought that this doesn't have any orange in it. But that was kind of the assumption I'm talking about, that we automatically bring in. So for instance, like I went to a local grocery shopping store recently and find that the escalator was stopping. When I was trying to climb on it, step on it, my mind is going forward, but my legs are staying still. Because of my assumption. Okay, escalator should be moving forward. I don't need to climb up. So I'm already affected by my presumption of what I'm facing. So the Buddhist practice suggests that we kind of need that assumption because, if I can trust that this cup holds my water, I can drink it. So assumption is necessary, but at the same time, tricky. So when it comes to tricky assumptions, how can we become aware of that? And how can we remove that? Because when it comes to developing an important relationship between you and people around you, this is how I was helped by being aware of my own assumptions. When I have a conversation on the street with a person who does not have home, enough clothing and food, oftentimes that's been the case. And when that person seems to be, mentally somewhere, not there, I used to kind of assume that none of these people whom I encounter can talk and think correctly, normally. But that was my assumption as a result of talking to so many people on the street. I realized that many of them, well, definitely all of them, and many of them, or at least some of them, are a little bit conscious about what they are doing, and they are trying to get over these challenges they are having. Once I start to recognize that, I start to insert my Buddhist practice of appreciation, empathetic response, compassion, compassionate listening. And then I was able to remove a little bit of my assumptions and engage in that moment of conversation. Maybe 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, but removing those assumptions helped me become a more kind person, though I may be perhaps very useless for, people whom I talk to. But in that sense, that person whom encounter with me is a bodhisattva for me, who has been expanding my view of the world and the humanity. So this is the power of Buddhist practice for me. And when it comes to awareness of the assumptions that I have. So a question to you, if you have, what kind of assumptions you think you tend to bring in, and what kind of assumption you want to be aware of? So let us make our relationship with everyone around us more peaceful and enriching. The other thing I want to talk about is the upcoming events. We've done a lot in May, new course, Discovering Inner Peace through Buddhism, and the fire healing ritual. We have a beautiful Sunday services. Thank you for all the volunteers and the participation. And in June, we also have other upcoming events as well, collaboration through New York and Chicago Dharma Centers. If you want to take a leadership in any of these or new events, please let us know. I need your help. We need to spread the word. We need to reach out to so many people in this country who are yearning for the alternative spirituality in Buddhism, Buddhist learning, Buddhist practice, and Buddhist community. And you are an essential part of the heartwarming Buddhist community together with me. So if you have friends whom you might want to introduce this newsletter or videos of RKLA, please do reach out to them. And that's your Buddhist practice together with me. Once we start to reach out to other people and explain what you are learning about Buddhism, that conversation becomes a place for compassion, place of enlightenment, place of more kind interaction. Here's another important announcement about leadership change. Mrs. Fukushima with her husband Kenji will be returning and moving to Japan with their beautiful dogs in the beginning of June. Mrs. Fukushima has been serving as Branch 2 leader and the leader of Education Department of RKLA for many years. Since April 1st, I have been an interim Branch 2 leader, but that has been increasingly difficult and challenging because of the volume of my work increases. For that, I'm pleased to announce that Mrs. Sachio Capron, area leader of San Diego area, agreed to take over this role. But she is not going to be Shibucho branch leader, but she supervises Branch 2, while she continues to serve as Branch 2 San Diego leader. For the Education Department, I'm also pleased to announce that Mrs. Miwa Kubota has agreed to serve as the head of the Education Department. So they already started their role, and let us welcome with excitement and joy their new leadership. Because of the recent aging of the leadership among Japanese leadership, we might need to change something starting this December 2024. Mrs. Kubota will be supervising the educational area of RKLA and works with me to think about what kind of ritualistic and educational aspects of Richard Gosekai traditional practices can be transformed into new forms. So we will learn together, and your voices also matter. If you have any ideas and suggestions, whenever you come up, please approach us and let us know. We will work together. Today is June 1st. Tomorrow is June 2nd, car blessing. In that Dharma talk during the ceremony, I will be talking about the relationship between the car and you. The gist of the talk is to say that car is a foot. Another thing you never want to miss is that the Nisei week of this year is coming up for the August 11th, Sunday, and the 10th Saturday is going to be the practice. We've got this from the Nagaoka Dharma Center friends and Mr. Fujita of Sumida Dharma Center. So we were lack of flutes, and Mr. Fujita communicated with the Reverend Yamakawa of the Nagaoka Dharma Center, and Nagaoka Dharma Center gave us these 10 used beautiful foods with their handmade food bags. Mr. Fujita shipped them all together to Richard Kosegai LA. And these are the beautiful, look at that, beautiful food cases that Mr. Fujita also purchased out of his kindness. Mr. Fujita will be coming to the Nisa Week this year, and we have 2 guests from Nagaoka Dharma Center. So let's look forward to welcoming them and thank them in person. The other thing I wanted to express my gratitude to you is that thank you so much for many of you for enrolling and taking the course Discovering Inner Peace Through Buddhism that started toward the end of April and is about to end. We just had to finish the final session this week. That course was an amazing. Thanks to your participation, we went through basic important teachings of Buddhism and thought about and discussed how we apply these teachings into our everyday life. How to be more compassionate when the people who come to you seem to be uneasy. How can we maintain a peace and discover our inner inherent peace in our heart in the midst of our struggles and so on. So your classes and some assignments that you submitted, I've truly enjoyed going over, discussing with you and leaving comments and getting back to you. I'm hoping to offer that class again this summer. So if there's any requests from any of you for the date and the time, 6-week class, please let me know. And thank you so much for many of you for participating again. The other news is that we got 100 hard copies of New Translation of Buddhism for Today, written by founder Richard Kosekai and Nikkyo Nimano. The original translation was published in like a half century ago. This one was retranslated by Dr. Dominic Scarangelo. He revived the original spirit. I mean, the original one was already a great book, but this one's almost like a new book, and actually this has an extra 80 or 90 pages comparing to the original translation. So that's on sale at the Dharma Center. So if you're interested, let us know. Maybe we can start a course about this book, and maybe we can focus on the story, concrete story from the Lotus Sutra with the founder's commentary. And we discuss and think about how we can apply Buddhist idea of wisdom, compassion, kindness, mindfulness into our everyday life according to the Lotus Sutra. So that's going to be very fun and practical. So if any of you are interested, let me know. If you're interested in leading the class with me, you're very welcome to do so. Okay, I hope to see you in many of our events in June, and like